Welcome back to the Future Quake Show. I am Dr. Future.
And I am Tom Bionic.
And I'm not going to ask you what this means for Friday because you never know.
No, I know what day it is. It's Friday.
And what does that mean?
That means... Okay, I was going to say something funny, but I'll just say it. It's tomorrow's Tremors, or today's review of the news.
Of the future's news.
Oh well, okay. I got a 90 on that one.
Yeah, well, I'm still amazed that you got that right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about our little sniping here. It's wonderful to be back with you on Friday. We sure hope you enjoyed our interview with David Flynn. I tell you, there was so much information we wanted to cover, and we had to rush it. And so we didn't get to cover everything, but he is a brilliant person. His book is right near the top of all of Amazon.com right now. His book, even when it was in just pre-sales. Mm-hmm. And he's near the top in like the history and prophecy sections there. Mm-hmm. He was top of the WorldNet Daily, at the very top of the board for them, headlines for a week at least, and it's the best-selling book there. So,
well, it's sort of a grand unified theory of prophecy.
Yeah,
it's.
Well, these are amazing days that we live in. We hope you're enjoying the people who we're covering. We've got some really further big-name guests are going to be coming up in the weeks ahead. And one thing that I'm really proud to announce today is that we have some incredibly cool emails that we got from some very bright and intelligent listeners, which I think is our typical demographic on Future Quake. But did you want to explain what you had heard before we get into that?
Well, yeah, it's interesting. I actually had lunch with a very good friend of mine who's a physical and occupational therapist, kind of the top of her field here in this area. And she actually related a very odd story to me that I thought I should tell our Future Quake listeners. Maybe it means something, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But if they could help explain it, maybe they could write in and let us know.
Well, quickly tell us.
Yep. The upshot was she was working in her office, and then there was a knock at the door, and she looked through the window, and there's a lady dressed in fatigues. She opens the door, and the lady in fatigues says, "Hi, I'm Captain blah, 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 and I'm here to, I want to schedule a time to do a recruitment drive among the occupational and physical therapists." They scheduled a time, I guess, and they're buying, or I don't know, they may have already done it at the time of this recording. They bought lunch for the entire department to try and recruit them, which was 300 people. And in her opinion, it seems to be a clear indication that the military is expecting lots of casualties. And there's all these questions that roll around in my head. That seems
so they're ramping up their staffing for all the casualties from an imminent war.
Possibly, yes.
All right.
That is one possible scenario. I find it interesting because the VA usually handles that stuff. So they must really be thinking about a lot of casualties if the Army's even getting involved.
Sure. Well, it's just the things like that. If, ladies and gentlemen, if you hear from your connections out there in the Futurian world, let us know. Maybe we can all put the pieces together and figure out what's really going on, since we cannot trust our media to tell us.
No, they're a joke.
They
Except for
read,
Quake, of
course. They read what they're told to read, what their people on top who are cozy with the people in power do, and they've never been a reliable source. Just some of us are a little bit later in figuring that out. But I'd much rather trust you all out there and what you all see out on the street. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Well, and if anybody, I've noticed that aircraft, the purchasing of aircraft parts is way up for the military as well. Somebody sent me a little report that mentioned they were up like 77% this quarter.
For military
aircraft,
or commercial?
Military aircraft parts.
Okay. Huh.
And
well, interesting.
Didn't list the buyers, but it's a U.S. report. Who else is going to be buying them?
Well, I don't know. Well, that's very interesting. But I have some emails from our listeners that I'd really like to read, if you don't mind.
Do it up.
But I think they're fascinating.
Yeah.
Plus, they're very nice to us, and I always enjoy that. This is from Joel, who sent one this past Monday. Joel says, "Hello, Dr. Future. I would first like to tell you how much I appreciate and enjoy your show. I believe that there is a real need for the type of ministry you provide. Secondly, I know you've had a few shows on the Dominionist movement and was wondering if anyone has ever tried to find out where all of their funding is coming from. From the outside looking in, it seems like they spend an absurd amount of money. Way more than I would think the average congregation could finance. Thanks for your time and God bless."
It's a very interesting point.
Well, first of all, Joel, thank you for the encouragement because Tom and I need all the encouragement we get. We volunteer at this, takes up a lot of our time.
And especially Dr. Future. That man he's a machine.
Well, we just appreciate so much your encouragement. And you raise a good question. I'm now learning as I get older that the old follow the money adage is
very intelligent. Yeah, there's far more there than just meets the eye.
And I don't know where they're getting their money. I know, particularly in media, and a lot of the media people that they do in their networks, those are for-profit outfits, and they raise money. So somebody's writing the checks.
Yeah, Janet Parshall, I know that she is a for-profit thing, isn't she?
Yeah, with Salem Communications, and there's a host of them like that, and I don't know where the money's coming from, and I guess it's just advertising, but maybe we need to look closer at advertisers and figure out what's going on. But anyway, let's all keep an eye out for that, and it's an excellent point you raised. Joel, I responded to him via email, and I'd asked him to find out where he's from. I'm just curious to see. We broadcast out of Nashville here, but we have a lot of listeners over the World Wide Web and iTunes. He says, I live in a small town in Oregon. I listen to your show via the internet. I don't remember exactly how I discovered it, but I guess is that I followed a link to an interview you did with either Peter Goodgame or Tom Horn. Two fine men, I might add.
Two good ones.
I think I've been listening when I have a chance for about a year now. I like this line. I've felt your pain when you've ever had technical problems. I'm sure the day may come when something may not go smooth for us, I'm sure.
Well, I think it runs like a well-oiled machine. Our audio guy is second to none.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate the compliment. It's much better than our WRFN days when we were live.
Yeah.
And we'd come in there and we might have one microphone working.
Remember that one time where we muted one mic, and I spent 20 minutes on the show trying to unscrewing the thing and screwing it back in and plugging.
You mean like where you're under the table trying to stall?
That was a different night, I think, actually.
Okay, all right. Well, he says, I run the audio-video stuff at the church I attend, and something is always working improperly. Well, we could certainly use your help here, Joel.
Yeah.
Says, I'll be sure to pass on the information I come across. Don't expect I'll discover anything groundbreaking. We'll be the judge of that. But I'll keep my ears open. More practically, I'll keep both you and Tom in my prayers.
Thank you.
Being a public voice, amen. And bringing up controversial subjects cannot be easy. Good thing we have the grace of God to help us with the fields He's called us to work in. Amen, brother.
Amen.
Thank you, Brother Joel, for that great word. Do not grow weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. God bless you and Tom and your families.
Well, God bless you too. Well, I really appreciate that email.
Thank you for your friendship, Joel, and it's good being a brother in the Lord with you. Nathaniel also sent one, another listener, asked about Obama, McCain, and Bohemian Grove. Another interesting starting sentence here. It says, hey, Dr. Future, I've been a consistent listener now to your show via podcast for a few months now. I must say it's been an interesting experience that has transformed my worldview of America.
Really?
Its relations with the world and the end of the world, etc.
Wow. High five.
I know. Hey. That's great, man. That's what we want to do, is to be able to have an impact in people's lives. However, he throws a challenge out here to us. He says, on your last release, you and Tom Bionic were discussing one of your guests about the Bohemian Grove. I did research and found that what you said was mostly correct about it. However, there's a statement that you gave that Obama and McCain were rumored to be in attendance. I looked that up as well and only found the same paragraph listed on various news sites that there were rumors. This was true. The same information you quoted on your show. I could find no references to the rumors, and it's now September, and I've not managed to find one piece of information on the matter beyond these rumors. On your episode, you drew from this information as if it were fact and used it as a reason why we should not vote for either candidate. I've been a supporter for McCain for a long time now, along with disagreements, but this is one that has no solid evidence and does not fit in with his recent political ambitions. He has chosen Governor Sarah Palin as his running mate, a girl that has not been involved in any of these circles at any time of her life or past generations. She's a reformer and even has managed to have creationism taught in public schools in Alaska. On this choice, I would base the rumors of being in Bohemian Grove incorrect. But that's just what I looked up. I will be listening to your show and greatly appreciate your response. Thank you for looking into these things and broadcasting them. A very unpopular thing to do these days. I enjoy your show and hope you will continue on. God bless. Thank you for that great email, Nathaniel, because what it does is it gives us encouragement, yet at the same time it also challenges us to do our best job. And I'm sure you may have some comments on that.
Yeah. Having known a couple people who've attended, I think typically what the case is
people on the inside. People have been there on the inside.
Oh, yeah. I was actually invited one time to go.
So are you like a plant on our show?
No, I don't grow anything.
Now, how am I supposed to believe you if you say that you're not here to collect information? Where did we leave that?
Oh, I think Pyro's got him.
Yeah.
Merv might have walked off with him.
You know, people have been in there.
And the way it typically works is like this. You know, there's obviously a guest list of about 2,000. In fact, you can find it online if you want to look around. Just type in Bohemian Grove guest list and search around for a little while. But typically, there are people who aren't on the list that just show up. You know, there were times, I guess, in back in the 90s when Bush the Lesser, was not on the list, but he just showed up in the same motorcade with his pop, and
it's not like they're going to turn them back.
Yeah. So, but, you know, technically he is correct. I'll give him that.
Even back to that, you're right.
Thank you for calling us on the carpet,
because
Nathaniel.
we want to be accurate. These things are too sensitive not to be accurate. Just like Nathaniel said, there's several references I found, a number of them that said they are rumored to be in attendance for one reason or another. They were believed to be. I found a couple that actually said they are scheduled to be there, but I didn't see how they had reference on that. But one thing we do know, well, first of all, what our concerns are about the current parties, what's going on, is irrelevant on whether they're there or not. To me, it was just another symptom of the problem, but it's not the description of the total problem. We do know that most of the top officials from both parties go to this. I mean, we've seen pictures,
many of them,
particularly Republicans, like Bush Sr. and Jr. I've seen pictures of them there. I've seen pictures of Ronald Reagan there. All these different officials. So
Nixon,
we shouldn't be shocked that they're there. We would expect that whether they're on a list or not. That doesn't say for sure whether any of those are there. I do know that supposedly both camps, Obama and McCain, were in California that time. I heard that through independent sources on the news and TV and things. That they were there during that window of time. So all that is circumstantial.